A former member of Counting On in the midst of her path towards recovery, Jill Duggar Dillard has provided a concerning update. The miscarriage occurred in April of 2024 for the woman who was 33 years old. Jill has received a lot of affection from her fans. She has been making an effort to maintain a cheerful attitude on social media by tweeting pictures of her playing outside with her children. Jill, however, took everyone by surprise when she was involved in a car accident. To find out what transpired, continue reading. Keeping our fingers crossed. Jill Duggar's most recent activity. Jill is continuing to discuss her joyful life with Derek and the children they have together. Neither of her sons' faces are ever seen in public anymore. However, the former member of Counting On continues to chronicle their actions. During the previous week, Jill shared a picture of herself drinking coffee while sitting around a campfire with Derek. In addition to that, she has been actively attending her children's swimming sessions. The fact that Jill is now having a tranquil life despite her alienation from her parents, Jim, Bob, and Michelle, is something that a lot of her supporters are happy about. It was earlier explained by her that they have been working on their relationship, and she added that they are making an effort to spend time together whenever they get the opportunity to do so. Jill is involved in a car accident with an unlicensed driver. The recent vehicle accident that Jill Duggar Dillard was involved in was recently shared on Instagram stories by her. The former cast member of Counting On claims that on February 13, 2025, she and her children were struck by a vehicle who did not have a valid license, which is against the law. She did not provide any other information regarding the collision. Nevertheless, she is currently experiencing persistent agony. In addition to that, she solicited the followers of her for guidance on how to cope with the suffering. Jill continued by saying that it is wonderful to have a lawyer husband, which can be interpreted as an indication that she is intending to file a lawsuit. Then she went on to say, "I'm trying to figure it all out, we are trying to figure it out, and thankfully I have a spouse who is an attorney. Makes it easier for my mind to relax and unwind a little bit more." Jill was also grateful that the automobile accident she was involved in was not as severe as the one she had seen on the news. She continued by saying, "I keep telling myself that I am so grateful that it was not worse. There were our children in the car with us, which, to tell you the truth, frightened me." You can rely on. Jill Duggar provides updates regarding her children. Additionally, Jill posted to Instagram earlier this month to discuss her plans for the summer with her children. As a result of the prolonged cold season, the former cast member of Counting On stated that her sons were reminiscing about the warm days of summer and expressing a desire to engage in gardening activities. It was because of this that she made the decision to get them indoor plants, and they have been having a great time taking care of them. Jill has not provided any new information regarding her family in a week, and it is quite possible that this is because of the recent vehicle accident that they were involved in. The Duggar family, known for their reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting and its spin-off, has been in the public eye for years. Their lives, filled with faith, family, and occasional controversy, have captivated audiences worldwide. Jill Duggar, one of the eldest daughters, has been particularly prominent, especially after her marriage to Derek Dillard and the birth of their children. However, life in the spotlight isn't always smooth sailing. In this fictional narrative, we explore a dramatic and unexpected event in Jill Duggar's life, a car accident involving her children and an illegal driver. This story delves into the emotional, legal, and personal ramifications of such an incident while also highlighting themes of resilience, faith, and family. A routine day turns chaotic. It was a crisp autumn morning in Arkansas. Jill Duggar Dillard, now a mother of 3, was preparing for a day of errands. Our children, Israel, Samuel, and baby Bella, were bundled up in their car seats, ready for the short drive to the grocery store. Jill had recently been adjusting to life as a mother of 3, and while it was challenging, she felt blessed to have her little ones by her side. As she backed out of the driveway, Jill waved to her husband, Derek, who was heading to work. The day seemed ordinary, but little did she know it would soon take a terrifying turn. The accident. Jill was driving down a quiet country road when she noticed a pickup truck speeding toward her. The driver, a young man in his early 20s, was swerving erratically. Before Jill could react, the truck veered into her lane and collided with her minivan. The impact was jarring, sending the van spinning off the road and into a ditch. For a moment, everything was a blur. Jill's ears rang and her heart pounded as she struggled to comprehend what had just happened. The airbags had deployed, and the smell of burned rubber and gasoline filled the air. Panic set in as she turned to check on her children. Israel. Samuel. Bella, she cried, her voice trembling. The children, thankfully secured in their car seats, were crying but appeared unharmed. Jill's relief was short-lived, however, as she noticed the driver of the pickup truck stumbling out of his vehicle. The illegal driver, the young man, visibly shaken and bleeding from a cut on his forehead, approached Jill's van. He mumbled an apology, but his words were slurred and his breath reeked of alcohol. Jill's maternal instincts kicked in and she immediately dialed 911. As they waited for help to arrive, Jill tried to keep her children calm while also assessing the situation. The driver, who introduced himself as Miguel, admitted that he didn't have a valid driver's license. He had been drinking at a friend's house and decided to drive home, despite knowing the risks. Jill's heart sank. She couldn't believe that someone would be so reckless, especially with children on the road. Her mind raced with questions. What if the accident had been worse? What if her children had been seriously injured? The thought was unbearable. The aftermath. The police and paramedics arrived quickly, and Jill and her children were taken to the hospital for evaluation. Thankfully, aside from a few bruises and some minor whiplash, everyone was okay. Derek rushed to the hospital as soon as he heard the news, his face pale with worry. Meanwhile, Miguel was arrested for driving under the influence and operating a vehicle without a license. The incident made local news, and soon the story spread to national media outlets. The Duggar family's fame meant that the accident was scrutinized by the public, with many expressing concern for Jill and her children. A test of faith. In the days following the accident, Jill struggled to process what had happened. She was grateful that her family was safe, but the emotional toll was significant. She found herself replaying the accident in her mind, wondering if there was anything she could have done differently. Derek, ever the supportive husband, encouraged Jill to lean on her faith during this difficult time. Together, they prayed for strength and guidance, asking God to help them forgive Miguel and find peace. Jill also reached out to her family for support. Her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, offered words of comfort, reminding her that God had a plan even in the midst of chaos. Her siblings, many of whom had experienced their own trials, shared stories of resilience and hope. Legal battles and public scrutiny. As the legal proceedings against Miguel began, Jill and Derek found themselves thrust into the spotlight once again. The media coverage was intense, with some outlets painting Jill as a victim and others questioning whether she could have avoided the accident. Miguel's lawyer argued that his client was young and made a mistake, but the prosecution emphasized the seriousness of his actions. Jill was called to testify, and while it was nerve-wracking, she spoke from the heart about the impact the accident had on her family. In the end, Miguel was sentenced to community service and mandatory alcohol education classes. While some felt the punishment was too lenient, Jill chose to focus on forgiveness rather than resentment. Moving forward, the accident was a turning point for Jill. It reminded her of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment with her loved ones. She and Derek decided to use their platform to raise awareness about the dangers of drunk driving and the importance of responsible behavior behind the wheel. Jill also took steps to heal emotionally. She began seeing a therapist to work through her anxiety and trauma, something she had previously been hesitant to do. Opening up about her struggles was difficult, but it ultimately helped her find a sense of closure. Months later, life had returned to a sense of normalcy for the Dillard family. Jill and Derek continued to share their journey with their fans, but they also made a conscious effort to prioritize their privacy and well-being. The accident had changed them, but it had also brought them closer together. They were more grateful than ever for their faith, their family, and the opportunity to make a positive impact on the world. As Jill looked at her children playing in the backyard, she felt a deep sense of gratitude. Despite the challenges they had faced, they were blessed to have each other, and that was what truly mattered. The story of Jill Duggar and her family's car accident with an illegal driver is a powerful reminder of the unpredictability of life. It highlights the importance of faith, forgiveness, and resilience in the face of adversity. While the incident was undoubtedly traumatic, it also served as a catalyst for growth and reflection, ultimately strengthening the bonds of family and community. In a world where accidents and mistakes are inevitable, it is our response to these events that defines us. Jill's journey is a testament to the power of grace, love, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. A message of hope. Jill and Derek's story didn't end with the accident. Instead, it became a new beginning, a chance to inspire others and make a difference. They partnered with organizations dedicated to preventing drunk driving and shared their story on national platforms, encouraging others to make responsible choices. Their message was simple but profound. Life is precious, and every decision we make has the power to impact not only ourselves, but also those around us. By choosing kindness, forgiveness, and accountability, we can create a safer, more compassionate world for everyone. And so, the Dillard family continued their journey, counting on each other and their faith to guide them through whatever challenges lay ahead.